welcome to Pack 48. Are you like me, fed up with some of the kit that you buy not meeting your requirements? Well, many years ago when I was young, I decided to start making my own stuff and adapting other bits to meet my requirements. This is Pack 48. My name is Phil and welcome. One of the things that I learned to make many years ago, about 30 odd years ago, was little day sacks, little rucksacks. And this is my bag that I designed over 30 years ago, and I'm still using it to this day. This wasn't made 30 years ago, but the original design was. This was made a few years ago as a replacement for the one that I originally made. It's about a 35 litre main sack with a zip. Inside we have several pockets, a couple of flat pockets that you can put bits in. There's a zip pocket on towards the front and a zip pocket towards the back. In the lid I've got another zip pocket, so there's quite a lot of pockets inside that I can put bits in. On the outside I've got a lid pocket, again for your little bits, i.e. your gloves, your hat, your scarf, maps, compasses, whatever you want to put in them. Now my bag, when I originally designed it, I designed it with a belt that was removable, but that belt would become useful as well. I have two shoulder strap pockets. One has a field dressing in it, the hemoglobin ones, and a cord, a drop cord in the other one. They stay up on the top of the shoulder straps. The belt itself is a padded belt. I took it apart the other day because the belt strap had broken, torn, and I wanted to replace it, so that's being rebuilt as we're talking. There's two side pockets, this being one of them, to the belt. They slot on, again, zips with a couple of little flat pockets inside for whatever you want to put in them. They're quite big. The Velcro closure as well. The actual bum bag, which comes with the bag, which I make to go with the bag, is this bum bag. Again, two buckles, nice big chunky zip, and you can get most of your bits of kit in here. So once you get to a location and you decide to bivvy up for the night, you can drop your bag there, you can put your bum bag on the belt and carry basic essentials on your belt. So you're always with your fire kit or something that'll help you if you do get lost away from your shelter. Okay, that's the one side. The bag itself is made of 1000 Dyna Cordura, and I spent a while playing around with the design. I made the design, like I said, many years ago for friends who were asking me to make them bags for things like ropes and to carry bits of army kit in and so on and so on. And eventually I came up with the design, which is based on a side pocket off a rucksack, believe it or not. Okay, we'll just have a quick brief intro into some of the kit that I normally carry in my bag. As a Welshman, I like to pride myself on always being prepared when I go up on the mountains, and for many years lots of people have asked me why I carry so much kit. Simple, I liked to be prepared. I don't want to get into a situation that I can't get myself out of. Some of this kit I do carry regularly when I go out, some of it not always. It depends on where I'm going and what I'm doing. So you base your bag on whatever requirement you find yourself in. So most people like to go to the rule of threes, which is 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without heat or shelter, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. Now what I like to look at with the 3 minutes without air is I like to carry a face mask. Now because of the current climate, everyone's wearing face masks, so I made myself a couple of small pouches, designs I made many years ago, and I carry a face mask and some gloves, some earplugs, and a face shield in there. Now the face mask I recently replaced. As you'll find in some of the programs we're going to be doing, we're going to be replacing some of this kit with other bits of kit which I've either improvised and remade, or I've moved on and bought something a bit better, a bit newer. This is a face mask I got off eBay. It's a 2-valve version, comes with an internal filter. They're very good. This is the working version. They do a sports version. This is an 8-ply filter, so it will filter quite a lot of particles and a lot of bits of dust that you find flying around. So if you bugging out from a city where buildings are falling down and there's dust everywhere, this is a pretty good bit of kit. Folds up to next to nothing. I can get it in this black pouch quite easily, you know, and I could keep that one in there as well, so I would fit all that in there. One of the other things that most people forget with their 3 minutes of air is, you know, you could carry an oxygen tank, but some of them are big. You can get 15-minute versions, but they're still heavy, so it's not practical to carry one of those things. So I don't bother. I just carry a couple of face masks. I just carry enough to be able to get me out of the location. But one of the things that most people don't talk about is this. These are a pair of glasses, fold-up glasses. Now, if you wear glasses as a prescription or as something that you do when you're working and stuff like that, you'll know what I mean. Glasses get lost and they get broken. So if you're bugging out and you need a glass or your glasses break, they fold up, they go in there, they cost next to nothing, you know, and they take up next to no room. That will fit in that black pouch as well. So I've got quite a bit in there. So I've got a face shield, I've got gloves, I've got a mask, I've got ear protection, I've got eye protection, all in one little pouch. Job done. So that's my 3 minute without air. There are other things that I could do. Like I said, I could carry oxygen tanks and stuff like that. There are other masks I can get, which basically would make these redundant. But they're big and bulky. You could carry a respirator or a gas mask, as some people call them. Too big, too cumbersome to carry on your person with the bits of kit that you're using to try and get away from that area, or you're just going out for a weekend backpacking or whatever. So what we'll go into now is, we've done the 3 minutes without air. Now we're going to go into the 3 hours without heat or shelter. What I like to carry is a sleeping bag. This is a snug pack sleeping bag. It's a lightweight one. It'll go down to 0, but obviously if you're wearing clothes in it, it's going to be a little bit better. Yeah. Shelter wise, I use a tarp. I won't name the name of the tarp I'm using. It wasn't cheap. They're not cheap. Some tarps, you know, the smaller they become, the more dearer they become. So I've got a tarp and I've got a sleeping bag. You'll see I've got a bit of a kit mat here. This is a small piece. I like to carry it because it's simple. It weighs next to nothing and it fits on the outside of the bag quite easy. There's enough there from the back of my neck to the back of my knees. When in the military, we used to cut these down from big ones up here. This is the normal size version, and we take this and we cut it down to something like this, which is just enough to keep your body warm and off the ground. And that's all you need if you're going lightweight. So there's a little bit of foam padding, enough from the back of your neck to the back of your knees. Your bag would be under your neck, back of your head, and this would be under your sleeping bag on a little bit of a ground sheet if you're carrying a bit of a ground sheet. Warm clothing wise, I tend to carry a fleece jacket, a shamag, gloves, a hat, scarves. I carry a waterproof jacket. I sometimes carry waterproof trousers. These are all layer systems. The whole idea behind the layer system is if you get too warm, you take a layer off. Yeah. Spare socks, very important. Yeah. Survival bags. Orange and green. These are the ones that reflect 80% of your body heat. I've got a green one and I got an orange one in the same bag. Now these bags you can purchase from many stores. They're waterproof, but the zips ain't waterproof. So they're water resistant, not waterproof. They don't keep it 100% waterproof, dry in it. But they're very useful for putting bits of kit in, as you'll see as we progress. Spare pair of pants. Now, many people say, oh, why are you carrying spare pants? These are not only pants. These are old cycling shorts with no padding in. And they come down to about just below your thigh. They're perfect, they're lycra, they're easy to wear out in the field underneath trousers because they dry very quickly and it keeps everything nice and snug and warm. But not only that, if you've got to cross a river or something like that and you take your clothes off to go across that river and these get wet, these will dry out very quickly. So you put the dry ones on, take your wet ones off, and away you go. Hang them on the outside of your bag and away you go. Moving on from that, you've got your fire kit. This is in a BCP tin. I got various items in there. The usual things. I'm not going to go into too much detail on my fire kit. It's got a fire starter in it, a lighter. It's got some forms of fuel, different types of matches, magnifying glasses, some wet fire, and lots of other bits and bobs in it. Some rubber, some wet wipes, antiseptic wet wipes because they're alcohol based in there. A bit of wire wool. There's a pencil sharpener, 2-size pencil sharpener for making shavings obviously. So there's quite a bit of gear in there and it all fits nicely in the tin. I've also got some char cloth at the top. Yeah. So we'll go into that in another program where we break down the kits a bit more in depth. I don't want to do too much a day because I'm trying to go through this fairly quickly. One of the other items I forgot just now to mention was if you are wearing prescription glasses, these are prescription glasses, these are for long distance obviously. These are working glasses. They come with a band at the back. Very important to have a band because if you're on the move quickly, these will stop you losing your glasses. Yeah, may not. And if you're going to wear these type of glasses, make sure you put a bit of super glue up inside the lens, on the top of the lens to keep it in place. Yeah, especially if you're just going to use these as an emergency backup. Yeah, so that's another type of pair of glasses you can use. You'll see on the table there's lots of, I don't carry lots of redundancies. There are lots of bits of kit, but I don't carry loads and loads of redundancies. I see so many programs of people saying, yeah, I've got this knife, this knife, this knife, this knife. You don't need knives for everything. You only need 1 or 2 knives. 2 knives, possibly. You know, I normally carry 2, which is a good Swiss Army knife and a good knife for skinning, and that's about it. Because of the laws in this country, carrying stuff like this is not a welcome thing. Yeah, but this is a cold steel SRK, original carbon steel one, which I've had for many years. Fantastic knife. I'll go into that in another program. As we move down from the warmth stuff, like I said, what you carry, you've got to remember what you carry is what you carry. If you decide to carry it, you're going to be carrying it. You're responsible for it because it's your kit at the end of the day. And if you put it in your bag and it weighs a ton, then you've got to remember you're the one who decided to put it in there. So moving on. So we've moved on from the 3 minutes without air, the 3 hours without heat or shelter. Some people say heat, some people say shelter. It depends on where you are, but that's down to you. We're now going to go into 3 days without water. Now I carry, this is a small water bottle. I carry a slightly bigger one than this normally, but this one fits nicely in my water bottle pouch. I carry a small cup with that, with a mouth guard and a spring clip, some Scotch Brite, some salt and purifying tablets, and that's just in my water bottle pocket. I also carry a 2-litre fold-up bag, ideal for water obviously. A soldier's filter. These are quite popular on eBay and Amazon. You can pick them up, they're fairly cheap, but they filter water quite nicely and they're quite lightweight to carry, and they come in a nice protective case like that so they don't get damaged. There are lots of other ways of purifying water, as you know, if you're into bushcraft like me, and I've been into bushcraft since I was about 9 or 10. I'm now in my 50s, and I've had a long time of looking at kit and prepping kit and designing kit, and you know, not just for myself and my friends who I served with in the army and things like that, who I made kit for and you know, repaired kit for. Over the years, that's what it comes down to, is knowing what things I want to carry are not necessarily going to be the same things as what you're going to carry. This is why I've put these things out so you can have a little look and see what's what, basically. So moving on then, we're going on to some of the other bits of kit. We have a food selection here. Obviously, you know, 3 weeks without food is a long time. Normally, I would say the average person go out for 24 to 72 hours, or 48 hours to 72 hours, which is where the 48 comes in. I like to go on the 48. This is a mess tin that I put together myself. The tin was actually a sandwich box which I made. The plate, or the fry pan, was actually another one which I cut down and put a handle on. Simple little things like this we can do. I carry an Esbit cooker for emergencies. I do carry a gas cooker on occasions, but I like the Esbit. It's lighter and I can use it just about anywhere. Selection of food then, I got a brew kit, I got some peanuts, I got some chocolate bars, I got some dehydrated rice, savoury rice, some curry sauces, some protein bars, some Cliff bars, biscuits. I've got some other foods further down. There's some oatmeal blocks that I can do a breakfast with. I've got a breakfast there in the bag. Some of it's military, some of it's civvy. It's very simple, very easy to use. You know, and it's lightweight to carry. You know, you can condense that down a bit more if you wanted. You know, I never count the day. If you're going out and you get bugged out, don't count the day you going out on. Count the next day and the next day, because the first day you would probably had food that day, and not the next day. So this is where, you know, the 48 comes into play. It's not the day you go out on, it's the day after. So that's a brief intro into the food. There are lots of other bits of stuff I want to point out to you, which most people don't seem to carry and don't talk about. One of them is the washing and shaving kit. Now in here I have got 2 small bars of soap. These are the sort of things you pick up at hotels, and they're great for that. They last for quite a while. They're fairly cheap on Amazon. I think you get about 20 bars for about £6, which is not really a lot, but you know, always worth carrying. I got some liquid soap in there as well, so my smalls and my socks I can wash with the liquid soap, which is this stuff. You can pick that up in most camping stores. I've got a razor and quite a few spare blades. I've got some toothpaste and a toothbrush. I've also got some floss for doing my teeth. I've also got some toothpicks with floss on the other end, so that if I want to use them, I can use them rather than the floss in the thing. The floss is a good quality floss. You can fish with that as well if you had to, you know, and use it for making shelters because it's quite strong, not easily broken. So that's just a little wash and shaving kit, which most people don't seem to carry or talk about. Now with that, I carry a little towel. Now if I'm going to wash and shave, I'm going to use my shemag as a towel, or if I get soaking wet, I'll use my shemag, as they're quite good at soaking up water. This towel, as you can see, is old. I've had this for over 30 years. I made it 30 years ago. This was designed as for one use and one use only. Still smells pretty fresh, considering what it's being used for. This is if you run out of toilet paper. So if you run out of toilet paper, you wet this. You wet one end of it, do your business, wash, dry off with the other end. Then you wash this out, hanging on the back of your bag, dries out very quickly. Right? That is if you run out of toilet paper. Right? Again, it's one of those things that most people don't want to talk about, is using toiletries. I do carry toilet paper, usually in the form of tissue. There's 10 in there, and I can usually get away with maybe 2 or 3 per time. So if there's 10 in there, that's 3. So that's 3 days basically, because most people only go once a day. So there's about 3 toilet uses in there. But I carry 2 of them normally. Some of the other items that most people don't talk about: insect repellent. Yeah. Some of these items will actually be in my jacket. you know, I carry a torch in my jacket. I do carry a headlamp. It's a pretzel headlamp. In there I carry spare batteries with it. The rechargeable type ones that come with it. That's the pretzel attack in there. I made this pouch a while ago for it. Nice little headlamp. I've got several sets of batteries inside. I've got a rechargeable one in here. I've got another rechargeable one in there, plus 2 lots of ordinary batteries as well. Very versatile, very easy to use. Got a red mode and a white mode. You know, it's got other modes to it as well, so you can flash, you can do lots of different things. One of the things most people, again, don't seem to have is a candle. This is a 12-hour candle. You can get a 16-hour one as well. You can cook with these. Low is very slow. You can boil water with them. They come with 3 wicks, obviously. The 3 wicks, if you put them all on, they don't last very long. So just remember that. If you're going to use it just for lighting, just use the 1. If you're going to cook with it, use the 3, but get it over and done with quickly, so you don't use up too much of the fuel in there. Some other items that might be of interest to some people. Mosquito net, or head net I should say. This is a green one. They come in different colours, you get them in black. It's a plain green one. Again, that's an item I've had since my days playing soldiers. A monocle. This is a cut down pair of binoculars. Again, something I've had for a long time, which I've used many times. You know, great for spying different directions when you're using your maps and so on. Now, this will be a surprise to some people. We have Vaseline. We all know what you can use Vaseline for. Put a bit of cotton wool on it, it lights up beautifully. Yeah. Vicks nasals. This is the menthol one. So if you've got a bit of a blocked nose, absolutely. But that is burnable as well. That'll burn quite well as well. So there are lots of little bits of kit. I'm not going to go into too much detail just today. Some of the other items that I think you might be of interest. These are the usual stuff that everyone talks about. Maps, notebooks, compasses, pens, pacing beads. They're all similar stuff. You know, most people that are into bushcraft, survival and prepping will know most of this gear anyway. Some of the gear that I got on the end is slightly different. That's a backhoe saw in a pouch I made. Backhoe saw with a spare blade. Very simple, very easy. Inside, a length of rope. It's climbing rope. It's about a 7mm rope, black rope. I normally do carry a bigger piece than this, but just for these purposes, I just wanted to put the shorter piece on here. I've got some other line as well I can use with a carabiner. Now these tools here are just some of the tools that some of you know and some of you carry. And what I've done is I've swapped a few things out over the years. Some I've done recently, and as you can see I've painted them and tidied them up. Now we'll all go into the pry bars. Everyone's got one of these. I put a bottle opener in the end of this one. They're fine, they're nice and lightweight, they're quite cheap, but they do bend if you put too much force on them. Some plastic ties. Now this is a handy little tool I picked up over 20 years ago. It's a handy little saw. You could put a half blade in like I've done there for little DIY jobs, or if you want to use it for cutting metal. I can put a full blade in if I want. I've got a wood blade there, and I've got a full proper metal blade as well. But I like to carry the half blades because they're easy to carry. Some 5.5-inch nails. Everyone talks about carrying nails, but no one ever thinks of putting them in one of these old screwdriver bit holders. 6 nails there, easy to carry. Pair of wire cutters. These are piano wire cutters. I'm not going to tell you the name, you probably read it anyway. Simple little screwdriver, which I made myself. The handle is off a 2-ended screwdriver, which you used to get with cars originally. And you pull the actual screwdriver out, turn it round, push it back in. You'd have flat one end and flips the other end. I basically hammered in a screwdriver bit holder and then carry now a multiple array of bits. I've also got a bit on the end now which I can fit sockets on if I need to, but lots of ideas for people to look at. You know, lots of bits of kit. The one thing I will say about maps is if you're going from one area to another, make sure you got a map going into the new area if you need to. Survival kits and survival bits, snares and everything else, I keep in these little bags. That's an ex-army bag. These little bags I made many years ago. Different types of line in there. Carry some bank line, some garden twine, paracord for shelter building. I've got a fishing kit with various types of line and weights and a couple of little floats, which are cork balls basically, in there. Some more survival bits in that one, for survival obviously. A spork, simple little spork. This one I bought off eBay, I think. Impressed with the tool, but not impressed with the price. The price wasn't cheap, it was silly money, and I won't be buying another one. It's way overpriced for what it is. But I put it inside a piece of rubber tube. Rubber tube obviously, fire starting, burns forever, almost. Spare batteries for my torch, they're AAA's. Pocket knife, fire steel, but they would be in my jacket. This is my skinner, which I'd use only for skinning, nothing else. So let's just give you a brief idea of some of the kit. This is my first aid kit, or one of my first aid kits. I do have several. Usual stuff, different types of dressings. Not much in the way of medication. I don't carry much medication. I usually carry just some paracetamol, some aspirin, and maybe some stronger painkillers if needed. Some antiseptic stuff. I carry a chest seal, some super glue, some antiseptic soap, which is something that most people don't carry in their first aid kits, which is always handy to have, because if you get a cut, wash it with some antiseptic soap first, dry it off carefully, and dress it. Great stuff. Some duct tape. Always carry some of it in your bag. Yeah, various types of tape, various types of dressings and stuff to stop bleeding, scissors, tweezers, tick removers, and so on and so on. Some Pro Plus I carry in there as well. So there's quite a lot of stuff in there. Like I said, the more kit you tend to want to put in your kit, the more and bigger the bag becomes. So what I decided is try and keep it as tight and as small as I possibly can. There's side pockets I can put on this. Like I said, there's a belt that goes on this normally with 2 pockets on that. I can take that off and I can put the bum bag on. I can put lots of different things. Power source is something that I haven't talked about quickly. I want to talk about quickly. My original one was a bit smaller than this. This is a 1000 mAh. So probably charge your phone up about 2 or 3 times, yeah, if that's fully charged. I recently bought this one, which is a really nice bit of kit. It's got a solar panel on it, and apparently this will run a small TV. Not tried it yet with a small TV, but yeah, I mean, you know, they're getting cheaper all the time, so they're always handy to carry something like this. You could get the paneled versions, which you can hang on your bag as you're walking, and that'll charge up while you're walking, which is great. One of the other items I didn't talk about, which I should have talked about, is 2 actually I failed to mention here amongst all this. One is a HighVis top. Now I carry a HighVis top purely and simply because I don't want to carry a piece of orange plastic, so I carry a HighVis top. Now this is better than a piece of plastic or a flag. I can use this as a flag if need be. Now you can get these in orange, you can get them in pink, you can get them in black, you can get them in any colour you want really. But the HighVis top stands out like a sore thumb, no matter where you are. The beautiful thing about this one, it's got a couple of pockets on it as well, is that it's an extra layer. So if I was getting a bit cold, I would put this over the top of my fleece jacket, under my main jacket, and if I had to put on a waterproof over the top for an extra layer to keep that wind out, I could do that. But that would give you an extra layer as well. Orange piece of plastic is not going to do that. You could tie that to a piece of long pole and wave it like a flag anyway. So, and I'm probably just as good as a piece of orange plastic. The one thing I love to carry when I'm out walking is my walking stick, or as my son likes to say, his boomstick. This is a nice, comfortable walking stick. This one has the added advantage, it has a compass on top. Although I wouldn't trust this particular compass, I'm not a big lover of button compasses, never have been. One of the things I always go for is a silver compass, a good quality silver compass. There are plenty of them out there. This is about a 4-foot stick. That's a metal end. Yeah. Good quality stick will give you a third leg for going uphill, coming downhill. Yeah. It will also enable you to cross fast flowing water a lot easier, yeah, if you've got a good quality stick. The length of line on the end is for you to put your hand through, so don't lose it. Yeah. You can use this for pushing long grass out the way if you're going through long grass. You can use this to ward off some fierce little creatures if need be. Nice point to that. Yeah. You could use this as a defensive weapon, not an offensive weapon, but a defensive weapon. There are loads of videos out there that explain to you how to use a stick like this in a defensive mode. I wouldn't advocate anyone using it in a defensive mode, because you can get into trouble for that, and that's not what we're here for. We're here to learn off each other so that we gain knowledge, so that when we're out we survive better, we learn more, and we practice more. Yeah. What I'd like to say before I just close up, like I said, there are lots of bits of kit on this table which I didn't go into. I like to make my own stuff because sometimes I'm disappointed with what's out there, like my mess tin, which I had to make myself because I can't get one out there the size that I wanted. I can't seem to get little bits of kit like the pry bars. One of the pry bars I showed you just now. Here's my take on a pry bar. I copied the pattern off the internet. This is a simple little bar, nothing fancy. I just took it off to a chisel point, nothing on the back, and then I was looking through Amazon or whatever it was I was looking through, and I seen someone selling one with a cut blade on the side. So I thought, oh, good idea, let's cut it into the side. Now this started life as a tyre lever, which is that Dunlop tyre lever. Believe it or not, it started life as that. These are quite cheap to purchase. You can pick these up at most vintage tool places, or if you can get a piece of metal that size, then you can make your own. All I used was a file, that's it, and a bit of paracord and a bit of material to make one up. And that's what this program's all about, really. In that I like to make my own bits of kit, and I like to show people what I can make it and how I can make it. So in the future, what we'll be doing is I'll be going through making some of these pouches for you, so you can see from start to finish how easy they are to make on a simple old sewing machine like that one I got in the corner. I haven't got no fancy machines. Everything is done to be used on that machine over there, because I can't do too much on it, because it's not a heavy duty sewing machine. It's just an old Singham sewing machine. And some of the stuff that I like to make are simple things to help me when I'm doing my bushcraft, when I'm practicing that, down the woods, up on the mountains, if I'm out backpacking. I want to be able to go out and feel safe in the knowledge that what I've got in my bag, or the bag I've made, suits me, fits me like a glove. There's no horrible loads of padding pulling my bag back, or half the bag is down over my butt. It's so that I have a comfortable, enjoyable time out when I'm out. No bits of kit hanging on the outside. Everything is in a place in the bag or in a pouch attached to the bag. And with that in mind, if you like what you've seen, a bit rushed I know, if you like what you see, click below. If you want to make a comment, again click below. If you want to see more, subscribe, like, and like I said, if you see something that you would like me to have a go at making, then please leave a comment, and I'll say yes or no, I can make it or not. I'm going to turn one of these bars into a little bushcraft knife at some point, and I'm just going to use a file and a sharpening tool, and that's it. You know, because it's pretty strong steel. It's, you know, but you know, hey, you know, beggars can't be choosers. I haven't got a forge. I haven't got all these fancy machines that some of these people seem to have on YouTube. So let's see what we can make out of some of this stuff together, and we'll have a bit of fun doing it as well. So thank you for watching. I'll see you again. This is Pack 48. My name is Phil. Goodbye for now.